Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Dave, and welcome back to The Love of Cinema, a pod in which we'll challenge one another to discuss movies both new and old with a strictly positive critical eye.
That's right, and to avoid lazy negativity, we've decided to make this episode a drinking game.
Yes, we did.
Anytime we say anything negative at all about this movie, about each other, about how the ideal 18-year-old's husband is a retired U.S. Marshal, you're going to hear this sound.
The fuck? Where did that come from?
That sound means we're taking a drink, and we hope you drink along with us.
So, pour yourselves a glass. We're going to talk about a movie where everyone is drenched in sweat, but the saloon windows never open.
Cheers. Weird. Actually, good point. No, I'm making a joke about how...
What the fuck was... Yeah, explain yourself.
Grace, they keep talking about how Gary Cooper, him and his bride, and you know, he gets to retire. She's young.
Oh, yeah,
she's 20 and he's 51 in this movie. He's retiring, and they keep being like, he's gonna walk away with his bride, and it's like she's got a life to live,
frame,
and
yeah.
he's a retiree. My first thought was, who is this old ass crib, and how come she didn't have any family at the wedding? I was like, this is all about him. Like, where is she? Where did she come from? Did she come from Monaco? Was that foreshadowing her life, Grace Kelly? Anyway, we're talking about High Noon, people. The random year generator spun 1952. And after much deliberation for a really great film year, we decided, actually, you know, John, who is not here with us today, John, hadn't seen High Noon. I hadn't seen High Noon. Dave, had you seen High Noon before?
I had not seen High Noon before.
And we're like, this is one of those...
I've seen all the different parodies, etc. of it, because it turns up in so many fucking things, so I recognize a lot of stuff. But no, first time.
Recurring theme for us. We did the original Body Snatchers. We did Kurosawa High and Dry. High and Low. Fucking hell, I did it again. Radiohead. Bastards. High and Low. Movies that we clearly can see. So we keep finding these OG movies sort of by accident, which is great. By accident. But we hadn't seen High Noon.
If anyone's wondering why we buzz Jeff when he does this, we get so much hate mail about Jeff getting names wrong.
You know what's funny? People get more mad when you don't catch it than me doing it.
Yeah, true. It's well, what about the time I put like the on the beginning of the title, and oh my god, Matt and Mark show were onto us like that. I got a week of mockery.
Look, you ran a television studio. John is a USC graduate. Congratulations, John. Graduate.
Yes. I saw a graduation photo. Haven't heard from him since, but yeah.
I believe Ray Shad's dad was there to make it official, so it did happen.
It did happen. All right.
But yes, I ramble and I set this shit up. That's it. So High Noon is what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to give you a little mini review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, just a little mini one, spoiler free. Maybe a gripe or two. We're also going to set up 1952 and what was happening. Pretty busy year in America and elsewhere, so we can give you some context to help solidify why High Noon was such a memorable, important film. I think the year that it came out does, lend itself to its history. Dave, do you want to shout out our sponsors? Do you think you got them off the dome?
No, I don't know who they are.
Well, Dasein was our guest for High and Low.
Oh, yeah, that fucking guy.
Dasein provides all of our music for free. Go ahead and check him out, SoundCloud/Dasein-artist, or you can just check our feed. We also have a YouTube, so we're doing this live. People, you can see us really drink right now. Dave set that up for us on the stream. Dave also edits and produces this episode, so thank you so much, Dave, for all your hard work. But you're not a sponsor. Carlos Barroso is, and he is going to provide more beer. I walked by the restaurant the other day, and I saw him, and I just didn't go in, but I should.
Did you just do the point at your eyes thing and like let him know you're watching as you walk past? That was it?
I just started like miming beer drinks because he claims he made us beer, so I'm very happy for Carlos to
I know he made us beer, but then we never turned up to get it.
That was on me. I have a car. I didn't do it. And you live somewhat close to him, but you don't have a car.
That's true. I can just get a zip card. Next time I'll just get a zip card because you obviously can't be trusted.
Whatever money it costs to get the zip car is worth it. Fuck. Well, now I don't want to pay that fucking surge pricing fee. We'll all drink. So again, High Noon, 1952. What was going on in that year? Coming up soon. Check the show notes if you want to skip ahead. I'm going to do the mini review of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Dave, is there any news or anything you want to shout out before we get into this?
I mean, we could briefly touch on the fact that everybody seems to be up for buying Paramount Plus right now.
Yeah, so we talked about that. Where do you stand?
Oh man, I kind of wish they would go with the Skydance thing.
Yeah.
I'd hate to see it broken up, and like I'm a huge Trek head as well, so I love having all my Trek in one place. I don't want to see it scattered to the 4 fucking winds, and it's on this one this week, and it's on this one that week, and like I liked having it all in one place because that, like, especially during COVID, it was handy because then I could find it in the one place. So because I forced my wife to watch the entire series over when we were trapped in the house together. She's forgiven me.
Yeah.
But it's funny. It's little things about Star Trek comes up and she corrects people. I'm pretty sure
Whoa.
she knows at least 3 Klingon words.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I had
know,
no
she hates
idea.
me for it.
Congrats.
She hates me for it.
Congrats to you for getting Therese to get on board with that. That's cool. Wait, so they'd be split up? Is it because of movies and TV shows? Is it because of the
it's
different series?
just if they're going to dissolve the Paramount Plus service, that then there's no guarantee that the series, like, because you can find it on other streaming networks, they license it out,
Right.
but like just because you buy, Star Trek Voyager doesn't mean you've got the next generation. You have to pay separately for that, and they won't do it. They'll circulate them, they'll shift them around. Everybody will get one when they become popular, all that sort of shit. It'd be a mess, and I feel like, especially if that was what I think it was the Peacock buyout was talking about doing. They were talking about breaking it up.
Yeah, Paracock.
Oh Jesus! There's a mental image for you. I feel like it'd be a damn shame.
Well, we got to shout out Matt from the Matt and Mark Movie Show. Is with you, Dave. She wants Skydance to win out here. Doesn't want to lose to another. We don't need the consolidation. We don't want to lose to another major studio.
Yeah. Also, what the fuck with everyone buying these things and just shuffling them around all the time? Settle down.
I know, and Disney scares me. I know that they're already trying to bundle some more streaming shit and stuff, but I'm with you. Yeah.
Oh, have you seen the new bundle that came out like this week? It's like
out of nowhere.
Disney,
I was like, what
Disney,
the fuck?
Hulu, and Max.
What the fuck, man?
Like, what are you doing? Anyway.
I feel like my credit card's confused too because it tries to give you like little perks. So it's like, here's your Max credit, here's your Disney credit, and he's like, do those overlap now?
Who knows?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's really.
I mean,
weird.
the other thing is, like, I'm pretty sure if you get the Disney Hulu bundle, you can buy it yearly on Disney, but only monthly on Hulu.
So,
and is Warner just get this shit together?
Wait, so Warner Discovery is they're like selling off.
They're talking
Max.
about bundling with Disney. No, they're kind of
Disney and Warner Discovery are all gonna become partners. There's no way they're gonna merge.
No, they're not gonna merge. But it'll be a bundle that you can get that everybody profits off, I guess. I don't know. It's getting confusing, and I feel like all of this shit is just turning people off it.
And you know what's funny? Most people just don't give a fuck so much that they're just gonna disappear.
Yeah,
they just don't care. These movies are tanking. Fall Guy made no money. Apes was pretty. I'm going to talk about Apes in a second.
I'm seeing
okay.
Fall Guy tomorrow.
Oh, nice. It looks good. Okay. You ready to do some Apes? You ready to hear my mini review?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So I saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes opening weekend, and they weren't sold out anywhere here in the city. And usually these movies do sell out in the big formats. So I just kept my timing was off a little bit, but otherwise I could have easily.
This is the second week though, isn't it?
But I saw it in the first week. No.
Okay.
No, yeah, and so I saw it in the first week it came out. I guess when people are I said no. So this is it's a weird movie. It's the fourth, but the first trilogy. Well, I should say in this remake. So you got the James Franco one, and then you got the 2 Matt Reeves, right? So it's Rise, then Dawn, then War.
I haven't seen War. I'm behind.
Dawn and War are good, for what they are. But it's weird. It's a lot of people are saying this is the one that it should have been. This should have been the first prequel, but that sounds dumb. Just I'm saying other people's things out loud, and I sound dumb saying it. So it's essentially it was pitched by director Wes Ball in like 2000 as Apocalypto, or even some like early Star Trek meets Planet of the Apes. So it's sort of like the James Franco one was supposed to be a prequel. Right. So it's like, how did they become smart? Oh, we created the virus that made apes really smart and strong, and it killed all the humans because we couldn't handle it. And so we evolutioned ourselves into oblivion. And that's why the apes like slowly took us over, and then they won their wars, etc. So this is basically a couple generations in the future where Caesar is messianic now. It's lore. And so you have people misinterpreting Caesar's message. Some people are saying unity and peace and harmony and basically just living in nature.
Thank God.
Tribal.
I thought you were going to go Franco as God now. And it's like, no, if that ever happens, we're doomed.
There's something weird about this series where they don't want to talk about Franco. It's like they love Caesar and they refuse to mention Franco in this. But
I think if they mention his
Caesar is
character,
God.
they have to pay him. Don't they? It's probably
That probably is. And
Yeah.
they're like, no. We saw that Oscars telecast. Okay. So that one. And I guess Caesar was so compelling that they decided to go with the human takeover. But this is actually more interesting. Honestly, here's what I would say. This movie is so incredibly decent that I'm having trouble like putting my thoughts around it. It's just so decent. It really is. The visuals are great. Everybody's talking about how amazing it looks. The feel, the technology, you really feel like you're hanging out with some apes. The nature feels very real. I like that. I love good world building. They're living in the trees. I don't know why eagles are their thing. Everybody has a thing. So like this particular tribe that Noah, the main ape now in our series, they raise eagles, and they're like connected to eagles, like fucking Avatar and those whatever those big birds are, those like pterodactyl birds. So it's, I guess, but I like that. I like just simple, bucolic apes. Great. Then of course it's almost like Time Machine style, where some apes are evolutionary more advanced. And they are more brute, and they want to unite everybody, but under this sort of false premise where they're sort of going to trap people and sort of not enslave them necessarily, but sort of capture them and force them into a kingdom, into like a small colony with like closed doors and stuff,
like the
and
British.
have like them become worker bees. Yeah, honestly, it's like the fucking British. You're right. No, so the ideas are good, because it's like, yeah, the apes are gonna fuck it up the way that we did. That makes total sense to me. And then the main king, wants power, ultimate power, wants all the human technology shit. So it's a pretty good premise. It's just, is there stuff that I can't get over, like when they say, oh, there's his horse, he must be around here somewhere, let's split up and find him, and then they all go in the same direction. So it's like, oh, we had so many good ideas. Like, come on, guys, we're watching the movie. You're not going to get away with that. So I love that they have buildings collapse and then have nature grow on them. I think that kind of stuff is really cool. So there's like these nature preserves and former planetarium type things. And it's beautiful. It really is. And the story is simple, which I usually like. But in this case, it's just nothing about it like got me. It wasn't as funny as it could have been. It wasn't as dangerous and action-packed as it could have been. And the message wasn't as punchy as it could have been. But it's so decent, which is why I get the idea where people said this should have been the new series, which it sort of is. It's sort of beginning a new trilogy because, we have the groundworks to move forward from here. I don't know where we're gonna go, but it was totally wonderful.
From the sounds of it, hopefully up.
Seriously, and if you smoke a lot of weed and you want to chill with some apes and trees, they climb trees and hang with eagles, knock yourself out. This is the movie for you.
It's the safest way to do it, because the zoo really fucking kicks you out if you try that.
And like every apes movie, they show pictures of like apes in a zoo, and they realize that they used to be trapped, and it's like we know. So anyway, it was good though. Okay.
If anyone watching YouTube is wondering why my shoulders are sitting about 3 inches higher this week, I've been on a set with a boom mic for about the last 2.5 days.
Yeah, you showed us some pictures. It's really fun. How's it going? Is it going all right?
Yeah, it was great. We wrapped on Sunday. So
nice. All right. I think I'm happy to skip the gripes this week. I feel like I've been chatting about this. Are you ready to get into 1952?
Let's get into 1952.
All right, Dave. We always like to start with the box office. So let's go way back to 1952. And this is your weekly reminder that the numbers, not just the website, but all numbers of box office receipts are pretty much guesses up until about 1977, which is when Box Office Mojo
all the receipts were burnt because they got audited.
And they try to say these tickets sold thing, but it's like 60 million. And it's such a hard number that they're clearly guessing those two. How many kids snuck into these movies and didn't pay shit? So anyway, we don't really know the numbers. However, there does seem to be one movie that was far and away the highest grossing movie of 1952. Can you guess, Dave, what was the highest grossing movie of 1952?
Was that the Singing in the Rain year?
This was the Singing in the Rain year, but Singing in the Rain was not in the top one. In fact, I looked at two different lists. One list has
total fraud.
I know. One list has Singing in the Rain as the 4th highest grossing movie, and the other one has it as the 12th highest grossing movie. So again, who to believe? But it's definitely not number one. Number one was actually your best picture winner, Dave. The Greatest Show on Earth.
Oh.
Which is the Cecil B. DeMille picture. It would go on to be the highest grossing movie. Number two, This is Cinerama, a multi-projection, widescreen, basically documentary, right? That made
it was a demo. It was a demo video.
Yeah. It made millions of dollars and is the far and away number 2. Actually, pretty close to the Greatest Show on Earth. Well ahead of number 3, The Snows of Kilimanjaro, and number 4, Hans Christian Andersen. So those are your, like, for sure, those are your top 4. After that, these movies kind of became like the 5 through 10, but I'm probably going to say more movies because the lists are all fucked up. But Ivanhoe, which is a Robert Taylor, Liz Taylor, and Richard Thorpe film. Sailor Beware and Jumpin' Jacks, which are both Martin and Lewis comedy team films. So the comedy team of Martin Lewis had 2 top 10 films that none of us have ever heard of, but there you go.
Yeah. Sure, someone's heard of them. If you've heard of them, call that number.
Yeah, please tell us who. Yeah, talk to us. Tell us you have all the albums of Martin and Lewis. They even do albums, the records, the fucking 65s. I don't know.
Did I tell you I found out why we're getting shadow banned on TikTok? My gripe from the other week.
Oh, go ahead, sneak a gripe into our box office.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was. Here we go.
Go ahead.
We're getting shadow banned on TikTok because we're uploading our video to Instagram at the same time. And TikTok apparently checks Instagram for the videos that match, and it gets jealous and penalizes your video. So we went from 300, 400 watches to 3.
I noticed, yeah,
because it uploaded at the same time,
which everybody does. But now I know why.
Not anymore, they don't.
Well, now I know why. When you see people like sharing TikTok reels and you click on it, there's no link because it's like a copy paste or some shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't even put a link on there until you've got 1,000 followers.
Jesus Christ. This happened today where I tried to click on something and it was like, prove you're a human. You have to slide this meter until the picture is complete. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, anybody else doubting that they might not be a human?
Do you think this is a TikTok ban thing, or do you think this is pettiness or just corporate?
No, I think. Well, the funny thing is, what I thought it was the the QR code at the end of all our videos was causing the issue because that does violate the community standards. Mm-hmm. But we've been putting the QR code on it from the beginning, and it's never affected us. But the second they found a copy of it on Instagram, it was gone.
Bastards! I fucking hate them. Come on,
carry on. 1952.
Back to us. Moulin Rouge came out this year.
Put that video on TikTok just to be a dick.
Jesus Christ. Moulin Rouge came out this year. You also have The Quiet Man, which is John Ford, right? And then High Noon came in at number 10, believe it or not. Anything else?
Was the original Moulin Rouge a musical?
The original Moulin Rouge was a musical.
I was, okay.
Yes, I'm trying to look. I have my notes in here somewhere, and it's in here. But yes, that's right. It's not a musical, and like Danny Kaye did a lot of musicals back then, but he was actually in the fucking Hans Christian Andersen was like a Danny Kaye musical. I don't know why the fuck the guy that like had every single child have nightmares. I don't know why that was like a comedy musical with Danny Kaye. But yeah, there was music, but it was also just like a stunning film. What else? Oh, Viva Zapata was a Brando and Kazan film that kind of wedged right in between Streetcar and On the Waterfront. The screenplay for Viva Zapata was a John Steinbeck screenplay, and it was Senator John McCain's favorite film of all time, for whatever that's worth. Betty Davis was in The Star, came out this year. Clark Gable and Ava Gardner were in Lone Star, which came out this year. And I think that's basically all I want to say about that. Let's do a little awards stuff, okay? This is the first ever televised Oscars, 1952.
What?
First ever televised
I'm learning things tonight.
Oscars. Thank you, Dave. Giving you an education here. Hosted by Bob Hope, of course, at the Pantages Theater. Now, if this makes any sense to you, they had dual LA and New York Oscars ceremonies at the same time. But it was televised out of LA. Mm-hmm. So what the fuck was the point of doing it in New York? Did they have separate statues? Was it like the COVID thing?
No, they probably crossed back and forwards.
Well, fuck, man. Yeah, I'm guessing that you're probably right. Okay, Greatest Show on Earth was the Best Picture winner. Cecil B. DeMille did take that award. He was the director-producer. John Ford would actually win his 4th Oscar for directing, which is still a record, for The Quiet Man, which is also a John Wayne film, as we had mentioned before. John Huston directed Moulin Rouge. Our film, High Noon, won 4 Oscars, including Best song. For that song, they played for an hour and 10 minutes out of this hour and 25-minute movie, which is, it's technically called High Noon, but it's referred to as Do Not Forsake Me, parentheses, Oh My Darling.
Yes.
So song, score, film editing, and best actor, Gary Cooper. Those were the 4 High Noon films. A couple of little awards things that you might find interesting here. Nope, that was it. That's all I want to say about the awards of that. I want to move on. I haven't heard. I looked up and I hadn't heard of any of these other movies. So, couple things happening in the world. The Miracle Decision, Joseph Bernstein versus Wilson, which was it revoked or denied the license of a film deemed to be sacrilegious, to be a restraint on freedom of speech. Basically, what it meant is that people can play movies in schools and in public places. In the past, anything that was deemed sacrilegious was banned from public viewing. And so they found that to be a form of censorship. So that was revoked so that people can actually watch movies. The Korean War was, happening. Elizabeth II becomes Queen of England, Dave, in 1952. Yeah. 1952. We all saw that season of The Crown. 1952.
I didn't. I've never seen it.
Yeah. She still treated your nation like a prison colony, but
No, she came to visit.
I think. Did she?
Yeah, I waved at her.
Queen Elizabeth II?
Yeah, she passed me on the street when they had the road blocked off.
What?
Yeah.
Did you also go to the Princess Diana one that was very famous in the early 80s?
Yes, I was in it was a stadium in Newcastle when Prince Charles was down.
People went to see him.
They dragged a whole ton of school kids out. We were kind of forced to go, but it's the British way. And
all right, well, good.
And I just remember Prince Charles up there in a gust of wind blew his speech off the thing. He's like, "Shit, me bloody paper," and all the school kids loved him immediately.
Yeah, he cursed more, King Charles. This also, for my Crown fans out there, this was the year that the smog took over London for 3 days, and everybody freaked out. 4,000 people literally died because of smog, so I do feel like that's a big deal. But apparently Winston Churchill didn't give a fuck, based on John Lithgow's performance in that season. The English version of Anne Frank's The Diary of a Young Girl was published, which would later be, the name would be changed to Diary of Anne Frank, but Diary of a Young Girl was published in the English version, 1952. 3,300 people die of polio in the US. 57,000 children are paralyzed because people didn't get their fucking vaccine. The vaccine was there, but it wasn't being used widespread yet. We didn't learn anything from FDR's. Decade later. The first ever Chevy Corvette prototype came out this year. Mother Teresa opened the home for dying and destitute in Calcutta. The second Sino War ends when Japan and China signed the Treaty of Taipei. They were still not in a treaty or agreement after World War II until 1952. You're damn right. NSA was created, National Security Agency. And
Mr. Hi to those guys. They're listening to us right now, probably. Well, I'm an immigrant.
Dave, the Mr. Potato Head is first sold in 1952.
How'd that first year of sales go?
I don't know. Did you think they'd be in 4 Toy Story movies 100 years later? Who knows?
Yeah, I think it went well.
And I just want to put in one more sentence, which I thought was pretty funny. Oh, bacon costs 53 cents a pound. So that's pretty good. Average wages were $3,800 a year.
That really was the good old days.
Gallon of gas is 20 cents. Here we go. I love this sentence. 1952, despite the war in Korea, Americans consider themselves to be prospering, with the average worker earning $3,400 a year. A college teacher could expect to earn $5,000 a year. 3 out of 5 families owned a car. 2 out of 3 families now had a telephone. 1 in 3 homes had a television. And the average woman was married at 20 years old.
To a 51-year-old.
To a 51-year-old! Yes, Dave, that's right! A retiree! Everybody's ideal spouse.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
Anything you want to add about 1952? Anything sticking out?
I think we've said enough about that.
Yeah. Also funny, The Greatest Show on Earth and Singing in the Rain both premiered at Radio City Music Hall. They used to have big movie premieres at Radio City.
Yeah,
but
they used to have a dance act before it and everything.
Sure. Sure. All right. You ready to get into High Noon?
Let's get into High Noon. It's high time.
It's high time. Really quick about Gary Cooper being in this movie. A whole bunch of people turned this role down. This movie was actually sort of... So a little setup, Stanley Kramer, who produced this film, and he would go on to direct a lot of features, but he didn't really direct any features up until this point in 1952. He was mostly a producer. and worked with other directors. He got bought out by Columbia Pictures, who he had worked for, when he was working his way up the food chain as a Ute. So he signed a 20 film contract over 5 years to get $1 million per movie, 20 movies for 5 years, which is a huge deal in 1952. It's a lot of money. I just said the average school teacher makes like
college teachers, yeah.
The college teachers make $5,000 a year, and he's getting all these $1 million movies. He's getting $4 million movies a year. But this movie was already ready to go. He already had the rights, and they were in pre-pro already when that happened. So this movie just like had to get made. And it was also during communism. And the writer of the screenplay, Carl Foreman, who based the script off of the Tin Star, 1927 fucking story or about the U.S. Marshal, basically. Also, this plot apparently is similar to other plots in movies, but who gives a shit? The writer of this, Carl Foreman, was a member of the Communist Party in the early 40s, the United States Communist Party. During filming of this movie, had to go report to Washington to speak to the House Un-American Activities Committee, where he didn't give names, so he was deemed a hostile witness or whatever, and basically he basically was blacklisted before like the official blacklisting, because it was 1951, it was early. He had to get removed from his producer credit. It was so fucked up. So you lost people like John Wayne. You lost people like Charlton Heston.
No, John Wayne was behind it, wasn't he? John Wayne was part of the movement to get these guys blacklisted.
Yes, that's why he turned the film. He turned the film down for a number of reasons. He didn't think it was like for him. He thought A Quiet Man with John Ford would be better. But he also didn't want to work with communists. He was happy to blacklist people.
Wow! Imagine what John Wayne would think of today's government.
That's why he's dead.
Yeah,
that's why. I accept. I gotta die at a certain point, and people can move on.
Yeah. You can actively support Russia as soon as I die. Yeah.
John Wayne and Charlton Heston have to go on. Funny enough, Stanley Kramer probably was, or at least he was sympathetic. Didn't name names, but he wasn't blacklisted. But he would end up going on to produce pretty bold movies like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and Inherit the Wind. Movies that I don't think John Wayne would have appreciated, if I can say so myself. But yeah, because of the communists, that, and because Columbia Pictures was coming, people avoided this movie. It didn't have a big budget. People didn't expect a lot of it. The writer basically had to leave during shooting of this. The director, Fred Zinnemann, had won an Oscar the year before, but for a short. He would go on to do From Here to Eternity and a bunch of other big movies. That's Fred Zinnemann, the director. But yeah, this movie was not expected to be what it is. And that is another recurring theme in a lot of these movies. This was not supposed to be basically the first Western that was good enough to be on the registries. Good enough for the Library of Commerce. There were plenty of other Westerns. Grapes of Wrath, John Ford, 1940 was probably there were Westerns. But this was the first great Western, according to the Library of Congress and others. Can you name, what do you think, Dave? Any of these, do you think, now you've seen this film, do you think this is a quintessential early Western?
I mean, in its entirety, yes. I had a lot of trouble getting into the first half of it until I realized that the whole thing's basically happening in real time.
It is. That's wild, right?
And it's literally like half of this movie is the drama around the exodus of a town because one dude is coming to town on the train.
Bringing his three buddies along.
Well, one, I want that rep. And
how do they talk? How do they communicate?
Two, it was. I feel like Tombstone, which we watched earlier in the year, ruined me for other westerns because the pacing in the first half of this is a little slow for me. Where this thing turns around, and this is why I'll tell people to stick with it, is the scene in the church, which they also parodied in Blazing Saddles and stuff like that. But the scene in the church is where you go, oh shit, that's what this movie's about. Yeah, and everything that goes from that point onwards, and it's brutal in what it points out. And from that point, I started really enjoying the movie because I had a plot point to fix on, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, yeah, this is what's going on. Because until then, it was just kind of a little bit of meandering around, setting up this, setting up that, moving the pieces. But once that hits in the church hits, holy fuck!
I should have buzzed you for the pacing comment earlier. So there you go. Okay. But I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. And actually, I started this movie.
How do I have 18 buzzes already?
Because I do the talking, and you are both of the Muppets in the fucking box that are just fucking barking shit at me. What are these balloons doing? What are these fucking balloons doing? I didn't even. I couldn't understand a thing. Okay. Anyway. All right, so we're getting into this. Yeah. A lot of people should know the pitch here. You know, the retired marshal fucking gets married to a young bride who is thrilled to have him so much so that she doesn't invite a single member of her family to the wedding.
Young is in bold.
The least romantic wedding I've ever seen in my life. Yep. And then as soon as she says I do, and he retires, which is, I guess, part of his deal, as soon as he takes his star off and he has his bride after they say I do, he gets a telegram saying somebody that he put in prison and should have gotten the chair, basically, he should have died, was released from prison. And the last thing he said to the judge and the sheriff were, I'm going to come back and I'm going to kill you. And so this guy is coming in on the noon train, aka high noon, the noon train. Pretty good premise. I have to say it's a pretty good premise. I agree, Dave, because it's slow, because part of this movie is just Gary Cooper walking around trying to recruit people. So it's not exactly like thrilling shit.
It's like the setup for a heist film. Almost the beginning of it.
But we're skipping the lead a little bit because the opening sequence is very Western. It's very much the Vista, and Lee Van Cleef in his film debut here, which I of course I recognize him now from the Sergio Leones and all the other things he did later. Always a villain. And you have that song, which I will say the first 30 seconds of that song is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The next hour of that song wasn't as awesome. The drums were cool. It was cool. I don't know too many ballads that had that underneath it, but
that was definitely your shagging song in the 50s.
I mean, certainly if I was on a horseback, that's for sure.
Whoa.
Oh wait, I buzzed my shit. Sorry, I buzzed you, but it should have been that was me. But I'm with you, Dave, with the only exception of. And I actually went back and rewatched this because we had a week off last week. So I was like, it's short. It's 85 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to go back and just push play from the beginning again. Lee Van Cleef, when he's just chilling and you see another horse rider with this song playing, and there's no sound. It's just the music. You don't hear the horseback. You don't hear nature.
There's not that one gunshot happening over and over again.
It's not, it's not the gunshot. It's not that, just to like shock everybody in the theater awake to let them know that the feature presentation has started. It's just the song. And then when Lee Van Cleef just like looks up and is staring out, and then he has that little smirk on his face. That's it. I was in. And then we got the three guys, and then they went through town. And just like in fucking Lord of the Rings, when you have like the Dark Rider or whatever come through, and all of a sudden you see everybody shut her up, shut her away. Watching everybody in the town see these people that they sort of recognize, take them in. You have the one guy who's like I don't know, greasing up the car or whatever. And then as soon as those three guys pass, darts inside as if he has to shutter up the windows. That was enough for me. So even though I agree, I was like, this plot is a little strange. Why is Grace Kelly marrying down? I don't care if he was a marshal. She's way too attractive for him. And she has so much life to live. And I know he's Gary Cooper, but he's not that handsome. And yes, I'm with you, Dave, except that opening was cool. That's my speech.
Yeah. I mean, when they were riding down the street, and by the end of that ride, every like, it looked like Midtown Manhattan. All the fucking windows were boarded up, and everything was, And I still didn't. Some shit is going to go down, and then they let you in on that, and then go back to the.
I fucking ate up the exposition too. Did you see? Wait, what's his name? It was the other Miller. It was that. Did you see? It was Buck Miller, Crosby, and Ben Miller, Pearson, and Colby. Oh, or that was Ben Miller and Pearson. Oh, and Colby was with them too. Like I was even into that.
I was going to say you have no problem memorizing their names. They say them about 6 times each.
Miller fucking. Well, okay. Do you know I had Colby mixed up with Crosby because Dave, do you know who the DP of this film was?
No.
Floyd Crosby, who would go on and shoot more than 100 movies. He was a legend. In fact, he actually gave part of the oral history of Hollywood because he was a part of so many productions for so many studios for so long. He's also the dad of David Crosby of The Byrds and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. That's right. David Crosby's dad shot this movie, Floyd Crosby, and is apparently a legend of Hollywood. And I have Crosby stuck in my head.
He shot it well, too. There's nothing wrong with the cinematography in this. There's nothing wrong with like the film as a whole, like I said, it starts a bit slow. Like I said, comparing it to Tombstone, which has almost perfect pacing.
Tombstone has so many people though. It's like that. It's like that is. It's almost hectic. How many the card scene? You have so many characters and so many people. I'm with you on this. I think another thing that I was going to get to too is I had heard that the gunshot scene at the end is quintessential Western. So I was like, okay. Because I think I had to pause the movie. I think when I realized that, we were going to end up taking last week off, it's like, oh, okay, well, it's 85 minutes. I'll watch it again next week. And so I was like, what the fuck? But I had heard about this gunshot scene. I was like, where? I didn't see, there was no violence at all for, 70 minutes. So it's like, where is, except for that one fight scene, which, it seemed like they needed some action in there. When the guy beat the shit out of the guy at the livery stable.
Yep.
But I was ready for that gunshot scene, and it did not disappoint. That was really cool. I kind of felt like I was playing a video game from now, actually, in a way. You know what I mean? Like where he's up in the second level of that barn, and he's trying to. I don't know. I thought that scene was awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm yapping here.
Also, like that, we talk about that song at the beginning. Wasn't that the first Oscar-winning theme song ever?
Ever?
I think so.
For best song, or you mean one where it was like named for the movie?
It was like a theme song. It was the first theme song for a movie to be nominated for best song.
So like Moon River wouldn't count because it's about a river.
I don't know. I picked that up somewhere. It's a week old note, but yeah. Also, that fucking let's get into some of the characters you meet in this town as well, because you've got like the fucking innkeeper. Let's just stop on the innkeeper for a second.
Fucking creepy as shit. He was ready for some people to die.
Like, did you find yourself hoping a stray bullet was going to find that guy by the end of the movie? Because
the way he's fucking with Grace Kelly, he's like, hey, there's a lot of shit going down. You gotta watch out for yourself.
I'm going to tell you all the shit your husband used to do, and I'm going to just throw the fucking cat in the fire and watch the fun.
Shit. Yeah, I'm with you.
It's not even a saying. I don't know why I said that.
It should be a saying. Oh my God.
Sorry, that's from my psychopath convention I went to last week.
Yeah. What? Any other characters stand out? I got one.
Yeah, what?
Her name, the only other female in this town, apparently.
Yeah.
Helen Ramirez, who was born in Mexico, and she owns the saloon. And when she realizes that, oh my God, fucking, who's the other Miller? who's the villain? Who's the villain of our movie? Jack Miller?
I think it's
Dave.
Jack.
I'm gonna go with Frank Miller. Shit.
Frank.
What an asshole. I'm such an ass. Yeah. We just lost all our credibility. No, I'm kidding. Frank Miller was also, didn't Frank Miller write like Watchmen or some shit? I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, Frank Miller. As soon as she realized he's coming, she's like, I want to sell the saloon. It's like, so like,
yeah, I'm gonna get the fuck out of town.
I read some reviews of this and stuff, and they list her as like the former lover of Frank Miller and Kane, who's Gary Cooper, and the guy she's with now, which I think is Hal. She's also the only female in town, I will say. And so I think they do a good job with her of giving her status. She's an owner of an establishment, and you can tell she has choice and agency, and she's badass. But it is also a little funny that the only woman has literally had an affair with all major characters in this movie who are male.
Yeah.
So, but I will say, just the look in her face, she is badass as fuck. And when Grace Kelly leaves that train, and she doesn't lose a second of sympathy. She's like, well,
yeah, you made your choice.
She made the wrong choice. She made the wrong choice. Bye. If you didn't get your luggage, I'm going to take your shit. See ya. I got $1 million. How much? Wait, how much? $1,000. I sold. I got $1,000 to. So she was a good one.
Which is about, it's a fifth of what a college teacher was making.
It's about a fifth of what the college. That's right. Although, to be fair, Dave, this is not set in 1952. This is set back in 1927.
Yeah, but the college teachers are sitting there watching and going, fuck me.
Another one is that guy at the livery stable. It's like, dude, he's like, you need to leave, to Gary Cooper. And it's like, way to take a stand. Just get out of the way, bro.
I mean, the whole town in that scene in the church is it.
Yeah.
The way that discussion goes round and round is just, it's like, oh my God, humans haven't changed at all.
So did you get got by the bait and switch kind of thing where is it the mayor? That's basically like, I've been thinking long and hard. And I've been thinking, like, if you don't do anything, Kane or Marshall, then they're going to just come and it's going to be like the way it was, where kids couldn't walk down the street and women, who knows what would happen to them. I think we know what would happen, but so that's why you should leave.
Yeah.
I was like, what? He's literally like, you're our last hope. So get out of here.
Yeah. Well, I think he knew if he stayed, at least one person was going to die. But again, all of them were reacting out of fear, and they just wanted the problem to go away. It's like no one was going to help him stand up to these people. They just wanted him to go away so there wouldn't be conflict. The guy would turn up and hopefully he'd leave. So it was cowardice. The whole town was cowardice.
Do you think this is a communism scene?
Yeah.
I do too, especially now that we know what happened to the writer and the director. Whose next movie, his first movie as a director, was about a doctor who like lost a patient, but he was like trying to do good, and the patient ended up dying and was like, had to live with that guilt.
Yeah.
And it's like, it sounds like...
Well, it reminded me, like, because I knew it was around the same time, it reminded me of the way people would literally ditch their friends the second there was even the hint of an accusation against them. It's like, oh, this person might be a communist. Okay, yeah, we're not having you for dinner anymore. You don't come in my house. I want nothing to do with you. Like, all that shit went down. And this is what that scene reflected for me.
Yeah. You're right. This is the pivotal scene. This is the one in the middle. And we'll get to Grace Kelly soon.
For me, this is what elevated it above every other Western I've seen, except maybe Tombstone.
I love how much you love Tombstone. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Was it the pastor? I just wrote the pastor was incredibly unhelpful. I'm pretty sure the pastor said, they're like, well, pastor, what do you think? And the pastor's like, well, the commandments say thou shalt not kill. So I'm really torn on this one. It's like,
yeah,
okay,
I'm not going to talk about that.
Bro, these are killers. They were in jail because they killed. Oh, fucking the heart's great. You guys got to watch this on Zoom. Shit's happening here. But I was like, pastor, that's unhelpful. The people need help, but just nobody will commit to helping. Not even the people who won't take up a gun.
Not even the people who helped last time.
Isn't that weird, right?
Yeah, the people who helped him take him down in the first place are like, no, it was only him then. Now it's 3 people.
Speaking of these 3 people, they got to the train real early.
Yeah.
When was the last time you showed up to a train an hour before it came?
I mean, they don't have watches. They're probably reading the Sun and...
The train was so close that it came to town before Gary Cooper even left his fucking office. It's like... train whistle, and Gary Cooper's still writing letters.
Yeah.
He's writing his will. I was like, bro, these guys like got up early and left to make sure they got through TSA. They didn't have clear plus, so they got there early.
Whoever it was probably looked up and went, oh yeah, it's almost midday. He doesn't know what he's fucking talking about. You can't read the Sun like that.
No, they're not Crocodile Dundee who read the Sun. That was the first time in a movie I saw somebody read the Sun. It's Crocodile Dundee.
Did you remember the bit after that though, right? Or just before that?
In Crocodile Dundee,
where he grabbed the guy's wrist and looked at his watch to find out what time it was?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're like 2:00 right on the dot. It's like, how did you know? And he grabs the watch. Yeah. But they fuck with the town. They did it on purpose. They got there early and they drove because they wanted the town to be in a frenzy. They wanted Frank Miller, not that Frank Miller, the Frank Miller from this movie, to come in and the whole town be like, holy shit, there they are. Which I think is cool. I just think the director was bold as fuck. I think it's cool that they didn't name who Grace Kelly is, who it was. Also, didn't even try to justify why would Grace Kelly try to get on this train? I understand wanting to leave, but she's like,
I saw a lot of people when I was looking around about this, and they're like, wow, what a cold bitch. She was going to get on the train and just leave him for dead. They just got married.
I know, and I mean, it's movies, so they leave in a hurry. Everybody's like, well, I guess he's running because he's a coward. And then later he stops and he's like, I've been thinking. In the past, I guess, 3 minutes since they've been in this cart.
Yeah.
I've been thinking, I need to go back. You don't even have your gun. Exactly. What? And then she's like, well, I can't do this. It's me or him, basically. And then he chooses to stand and fight. And then she says, okay, I'm going to get on the train that he's coming in. The guy who's going to, if I knew that my partner or somebody wanted to murder him.
Well, you just chop punch cards as we go. It's like, morning, George. Morning, Ralph. Yeah.
They're gonna high five like out the door.
That's my second Looney Tunes reference of the night.
No need to buzz Looney Tunes, but let's get back to Grace Kelly though, because she's awesome.
Yeah,
She's awesome. I don't know if this is her film debut, but it's early in her career. She was cast out after being in a Broadway play, and she's great. she's
no
she's
notes on that
fantastic.
one. She just, and it's a character that's like, if you interpret it that way, is incredibly not likable.
Until she starts being fearless.
Yeah.
She steps up to these three guys more than anybody else in the town does.
Yeah.
She bites his fucking hand. She knees them. She shoots somebody.
Yeah.
She fucking cold-blooded out the window shoots one of these bandits.
Yeah. And was that in the back? Did she shoot him in the back?
I think so.
Yeah.
But right out the
Bad
window,
form.
right?
Yeah.
Bad form. No way. You shoot to kill when these motherfuckers are taking over your
straight.
town.
Yeah.
I thought, but yeah,
You sneak around my town with a gun, I'm going to fucking shoot you from wherever I can.
now back to Brad. Let's go to this final sequence here, Dave. Gary Cooper earned that bravado when he sends the 14-year-old kid home, and he says, "Look, you're brave, but you got a whole life to live." And when his deputy is basically like, "Hey, I'm here," it was the George Bush ad from Family Guy. Oh, I got all your messages. Oh, but it's like he shows up and he's the only guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I really spent a lot of time building up some courage, but I'm not ready to die today. I still thought living was on the table.
Yeah.
So I'm out. And oh my God. And then the other marshal, was that was that the new marshal that had the star? Was that wasn't the same guy? The new marshal who
when he
got
went
the thing
to visit
like,
the old marshal?
there's like a temporary marshal, right? There's supposed to be this 24-hour period
yeah.
where there's no marshal.
Yes.
And that the temporary marshal was like, fuck this.
Yeah, fuck yeah. He was not taking anything.
I just wanted to be a player. I just wanted free beer at the saloon for being the marshal. The judge fled town. All the shit's happening. So Gary Cooper is left alone. And it's fucking awesome. It's so cool. I was ready for a showdown like the Leones, but no. He's hiding. He's fucking with them. He's firing. He's shooting. He's awesome. I thought he was so fucking cool. And I kept thinking he's old as fuck. This whole movie, I'm like, he's so old. No disrespect to old people, but he's not Clint's in Fistful of Dollars. But god damn it, he was fucking cold. He was cold as shit, standing behind those pillars while people are shooting these revolvers at him. Cold-blooded. He was fucking awesome.
So fun little. I did laugh, by the way, when in that scene in the church where they kicked all the kids out. It's like, we don't want to have this discussion in front of the kids. And next minute it's just the kids fucking cheering because they got out of church early.
I would have been the same way. I would have been like, yes. We can go play in the cemetery.
Also, honorable mention for Sheb Woodley, the originator of the Wilhelm scream.
The Wilhelm scream.
Yes, the scream that's used in so many movies. He must have a very nice house if he's getting residuals for that thing.
No promises on that.
It was this one, this is one scream that he did that they recorded, and they used it from that point on. It turns up in so many movies.
And so this is Ben Miller, the younger brother of our villain Frank Miller, who's getting out of prison. His scream in this movie is iconic.
Yeah, not in this movie. It's in a previous movie, but he started this movie. But he is the guy who performed the scream that they use.
No shit.
Yeah.
Get out of here. That's
like that.
Cool.
That is a famous filmmaking trope. People go looking for it if they find, like, some people throw it in just for the sake of including it in their film.
We should do it. We should make a, hopefully, the statute of limitations has run out. No, that's not the right way of phrasing that. Hopefully, it's in public domain.
Yeah, public domain. Yeah. I don't know what crime you were thinking of committing. Jesus.
Also, Lon Chaney's son is in this movie. Sheb Wooley, that's funny. Okay, cool. I feel like
there's the one thing I want to bring up there. Like, we're in the gunfight, and we're in the thick of it. And he's hiding in the hay bales.
Yeah.
And this guy's shooting at him, and he missed him 6 times. Then he noticed he's hiding in the hay bales, and he hits that fucking lantern with one shot.
Nailed it.
Like, he wasn't undercover. He missed him 6 times, but he's a fucking crack shot when he's hitting lanterns.
Yeah, he knows. When it's not a human, his hand's real steady. Yeah, it's on you. Also, why is it that every time they looked at the chair where they used to do the sentencing in the judge's office, apparently the judge's office was just a regular old office where people sat in a chair and then they would get like sentenced to death. Why is my fucking Zoom putting thumbs up all the time and stuff? Anyway, every single time they looked at the chair, there was a stinger. When that judge is leaving and he's like, and Kane, again, Gary Cooper's like, why are you leaving, Judge? And he's like, you would too. Don't you remember when he was sitting in that chair? And in mid-sentence, we look at the chair and it's just going...
The chair was its own fucking character, man.
But like mid-sentence, there was this stinger that just like played when it turned to the chair. I guess I'm supposed to feel... I felt like an electric chair.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. I fucked up. The Tin Star was 1947, not 1927. But, oh well. See, Dave, people are going to come at you for not getting me, and I'm going to get away with it.
I punished you at the end. If they don't know that I punished you at the end, it's their fault for not fucking listening.
As soon as people hear it, they jump on it. I'm ready.
So,
I really hope... Yeah, go ahead.
No, you
I really hope people don't confuse this movie with the hard seltzer, because if so, society's dead.
I mean... just...
High Noon hard seltzer. It's pretty good.
I didn't know that existed. I've learned 2 things tonight.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. What were you going to say? You're going to say something good. This movie made a lot of money. This movie made $12 million on a $730,000 budget. We think. Who knows? But pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about High Noon, Dave?
I don't think so. I think we've covered everything. I think it was definitely like I said, it's definitely elevated above a normal Western by what happens in the middle.
I think the story is
once you realize it's happening in real time too.
You know what else is really cool about this movie? The title. The title is so good. High Noon. What is that? The noon train.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I forget why they call it High Noon. Is it because it's hot? I don't know.
It's because the sun is directly above in the sky.
It's so good. What a good title. And also all of those pacifist wannabe pieces of shit, man, in this town. I think I'm with you, Ryan. I would watch this again. I probably just like talk through and make jokes about like half of the recruiting trips he takes around town. The one guy telling his wife, like, say I'm not here. And she's like, he'll know I'm lying. And he'll be like, and it's like, and then of course he knows
he's not here.
So
he went to church without you. Oh, fuck.
Right. Yeah. It's like, excuse me, why are you at church there, young lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but
so
yeah,
now,
and also
now you skip church and you're a liar?
It's like, maybe you have another reason to you should go to church now. This is, anyway, I love that it's in real time. And I love that, Stanley Kramer really, and even Fred Zinnemann, again, did From Here to Eternity, and then he'd go off to make, he won 4 Oscars after this. But this movie really launched a lot of people after this. Gary Cooper's second Oscar, so this is sort of like, the beginning of his semi-retirement phase. But yeah, and John Wayne accepted the Oscar on behalf of Gary Cooper and made some dumb joke about his agent, like, oh, why did you let me turn this movie down? And it's like, yeah, you turned it down because you hate comics.
You wouldn't do it because of the commies, John. Sit the fuck down.
You did The Quiet Man, and John Ford won an Oscar, and so he's happy, and you can go fuck yourself. He won an Oscar for True Grit, and he should not have. So what do you want? Okay.
You're catching me.
Leave that Cleef smoking on that horse where the guy on the horse is coming. Dave, that was fucking cool. That opening was cool. Okay. Also, I gotta say one thing. Man, that like when he pretended to slap the kid, Gary Cooper looked really bad in some of the physical work he had to do. The gun shooting shit was cool, but when he tried to like fake slap the kid, I was like, that is weird looking. That looks weird. I wish they had the budget to reshoot that scene. Okay. Also, church, get a piano player. Why are they singing a cappella in that church? Sounded like shit. Okay. They're singing a cappella in the church.
They did it out there. You ever carried a piano out of the fucking West?
No, you build it there. I don't know. Fucking
yeah. Try and get that tuned.
It's never tuned. It sounds anyway. Okay.
Yeah, the saloon has it. The saloon has a piano, but the church doesn't.
Right. What world are we living in?
The right one.
They should pass it back and forth. On Sunday morning, all the people that were at the saloon too late, they have to wheel the piano.
They have to wheel the church. Oh, Jesus.
All right, Dave.
It's always on a hill, too.
Thank you so much for checking out our conversation on High Noon. We are now going to spin the random year generator to see what year we're going to be talking about next week.
Here we go.
And then we'll do what you've been watching. Dave, let's do it. 1900s. Oh, 1970s. Oh, boy.
Oh, the magic year.
Oh my God, this is it. What did I say at the beginning of this? 1977, the year that the stats might actually be accurate. 1970, the year of Star Wars. Oh my God. Dave.
We're not doing Star Wars, but yeah.
No. What do you think we'll have something to offer? How did you feel watching Star Wars?
We're gonna offer a modern positive analysis of Star Wars. Actually, that hasn't happened in a while.
Go watch How Film Editing Saved Star Wars and why George Lucas's wife won an Oscar for that. Okay, Dave, what you been watching? We're gonna pick our movie at the end of the episode, so we don't just sit here and Google movies from 1977, like hopefully our listeners do. 2 weeks, you got to watch anything?
I got to watch. I finished. We're almost finished the Obliterated series on Netflix, and it just gets funnier and better as it goes. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't know how long I can milk this level of comedy, but it just settles into a nice story, and it's an elongated action film essentially.
Nice.
And of course, Disney with its purchase and budget extension now has the new series of Doctor Who. The first 3 episodes of the series are on Disney Plus now.
Shit.
And oh my God, is the guy playing Doctor Who having a fucking blast. And I'm all about it. I am all about it. He's having so much fun. The 3rd episode, which is they go back to the 60s and ended up meeting the Beatles. And the villain in that is played by a drag queen who won RuPaul's Drag Race.
No shit.
What a fucking phenomenal performance.
Wow.
She's amazing. Like, it's an almost terrifying performance. Overshadows any other performance in that episode. We were watching that today and we're like, oh my God, like this is getting a little freaky, like scary.
Who is the new Doctor?
I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name.
Okay.
Gatway? I think it's his last name.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah. But he looks like he's having such a blast and I'm all about it.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, wait, this is the guy from, he's in Sex Education.
Yeah.
And he's also in, oh my God, he's in another movie. He's in Barbie, I think.
Yes.
Gatwa, I think. Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't do that justice.
He's great.
I wasn't going to try.
He's the sidekick in Sex Education, meaning he's Ollie's best friend. He's fucking Asa Butterfield's best friend in Sex Education, the series. He's great.
He is rocking it, in my opinion.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Anything else?
That's all I got to watch. I pretty much donated money to AMC Plus this month.
I get that written. My credit card will give me reimbursement for that too, but I don't even know what to do about it. Oh, and he's in Masters of the Air. He's pretty good in 2 episodes of Masters of the Air. What a fucking time he is one of the Kens in Barbie. No shit. Awesome job. Okay, I saw a lot of shit. Dave, are you ready?
Oh God, brace myself.
Should I save one for next week? No, I'll see some more shit. Okay, so Angela, I really wanted to watch something new. So did Angela, but we couldn't figure out what to watch. We kind of were thinking are we gonna watch the real dolphin? What is that new series that everybody's talking about? The real elephant. There's some animal something. That's
the one with the comedian that's with the sweater.
Yes. What the fuck is that called?
I haven't watched it yet. So
we just lost some more credibility here. But.
She's I know she's suing them, the woman it's based on.
Right.
She's suing the creators.
Maybe it's actually the guy. Who gives a shit? Okay, anyway, I'm so sorry, I forgot what it's called. Who gives a shit? I didn't watch it. I watched the Tattooist of Auschwitz instead. We watched.
Ooh.
Angela had read the book. My mom had read the book, although I didn't watch it with my mom.
What's worse than a stalkery drama? Okay.
I will say, so Dave, I don't know if you knew what was going on in Auschwitz in the 1940s, but this movie's great. So, wait, I'm gonna do it. Can I do a gripe? Let me do a gripe.
All right,
I'm going to do a gripe in this section. Okay, so at the end of this, it's not too much of a spoiler, but it's 6 episodes. It's really, really great. At the end of this show, they put up the title scroll, and there's some shit they talk about. And one was that this book took 11 years to get a publisher to agree to publish it. Now, I had a gripe earlier on in our show called No More World War II Movies, because every year there's a new World War II movie, a new Holocaust movie, and it's like, we've seen the Holocaust, we've seen World War II, we get it. This is the most obviously successful title, the Tattooist of Auschwitz, and it's based on a true story. If I had money, I would throw money at that, not just because obviously it's bankable, but it's also a story that needs to be told. This is somebody who tattooed everybody at Auschwitz, and he was Jewish, and it's about the Jews who had to work for the Nazis because they didn't have enough people, but they had guns to their head. It's like fucked up, but also that title is so incredible, and the person lived to tell this story but kept it a secret because he was worried that people would judge him for working with the Nazis, and nobody would sell it for 11 years? What is wrong with publishers? That is the most obviously that title is so obviously made for a novel. I couldn't believe that when I saw that. 11 years. The guy died before the book came out because it took so long for a fucking publisher to come in.
Jesus, that sucks. You're right. That sucks.
I will say, it fucked with my dreams. That night. In fact, so there was one night where I turned to Angela. I was like, "Can we just finish the series so that I stop dreaming about this show?"
No.
I need to see, because I know he lives, right? So I need to see him outside of this place. So that was really meaningful and moving. I also watched Bad Grandpa. I watched The Iron Claw.
Oh, Jesus, was Bad Grandpa as bad as I thought it was going to be?
No. It was funny because it's just De Niro saying like the dirty, nasty stuff, and Aubrey Plaza going through every sexual innuendo about like a college student sleeping with an old man.
Oh, okay.
One of the best. She goes, "You're a professor," and he goes, "Yeah, you want some extra credit?" Like, it's like shit like that the whole movie. And Zac Efron's not the best actor in the world, but just him in the middle of it was just right for him. It just worked really well. Iron Claw is good. It's just really sad, and I know a lot of other people talked about that, but I thought I thought it'd be a little bit more like The Wrestler, which is like slice of life, has its fun moments, has its sad moments. No, it is a drama, and it is long, and so it's great, but it's a slog because it's really fucking sad, and that just came out on Max. I feel like I saw something else, but I'll leave it at that.
Cool.
Let's do it, Dave. We're going to take a quick break so everybody can listen to one of our sponsors, Dasein. And we're going to pick a movie from 1977.
Let's go. And we're back. So that was
Dave,
intense.
You didn't want to talk about Star Wars.
Well, who hasn't? I don't want to turn us into the Reddit show.
Saturday Night Fever, Smokey and the Bandit, The Goodbye Girl, The Deep, Spy Who Loved Me, Annie Hall. We're not talking about Annie Hall.
No.
I'm really happy with our choice.
Yeah, me too.
This is one of the first ever DVDs that I owned.
What? Cool.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Dave. Another Steve.
Early
We're
Steve.
doing another Spielberg, and this is before 1941. So we have hope. He's still grooving. That's right, people. We're gonna be talking about Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Tell us what your favorite Spielberg movie is, and we'll tell you ours maybe next week. Can't wait to see you.
And we're gonna try this again. I want everyone to watch the movie.
Yeah.
And then leave a little mini review for us on our phone number, which we're going to put up on the screen right now. And hopefully, if TikTok isn't a bastard this week, you'll actually see it on TikTok.
Yeah. Leave a mini review unless TikTok is a bastard.
Yeah. And if you're listening on the podcast, it is in the show notes. Or if you've got a pen, it's 646-484-9298.
Dave, do you have that? Is that your actual number? Do you have that memorized?
It's not my actual number, no. What are you, fucking crazy?
Yeah, it was real fast. People listen to this on 1.25. They're going to be like, and they're going to be like, holy shit. All right, people. See you next week to talk about Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That means aliens.
Aliens.
That means going with them.
That means I'll be happy because they should have been in Goodfellas.
The aliens should have been in Goodfellas? I know I go from rags to riches. All right, we got to get out of here. Bye. Listen to some Dasein.